Hello everyone, I am Tacet, and today I'm going to be going over the Knockin on Dwarven Doors event, in which the Dwarven Gate and the new legend of King Highforge is added to Gems of War. This event is particularly special because this is the first event ever where all four platforms, PS4, Xbox One, PC, on Steam, and all of the mobile versions all have the same event. So this is the first time they were ever all aligned. This should be keeping up for the most part. I believe there's going to be a few events. They'll still be off on console, but for the most part, all platforms should pretty much be having the same events constantly, which will be pretty good because that means anything I say is now also pretty much fully applicable to the console version as well. So let's go over the new troop that you can get through the glory system. This is the Dwarven Gate, a particularly good common, I've got to say. I am really surprised they made it this good as a common, but it is very, very nice. Highly advise getting quite a few of them. It gains a lot of armor. It's basically like a Fortress Gate, essentially, except it does even more. It has a base of 0 attack, though it still does gain attack from other means. But it gains a bunch of armor, and this is boosted by Dwarven allies, only at a 1-to-1 ratio, so that's basically none. Even if your whole team was dwarves, you're only getting 4 additional armor, which is pretty trivial. But the main thing that makes it really, really good is all other allies gain barrier and 5 mana. The 5 mana part being insanely powerful. For comparison, Queen Jezebel, which is something that is somewhat similar to this troop as far as at least the mana gain part of it, gives all other allies 3 to 8 mana, which is an average of 5.5. The difference is, though, that she has a 15 mana cost. This only has a 10 mana cost. So you can just use 2 Dwarven Gates and let's say like a Valkyrie with it, and then you use both the gates, boom, your Valkyrie's at full mana. Your Valkyrie then fills up both the gates, and then whatever you have in 4th troop can keep casting. You could just use your 4th troop as a Tesla, a Crimson Bat, a Draculus, a Christine X. There's many options. Basically anything that is blue that does a excessive amount of damage. So yeah, there is a lot of potential for this gate. I really like it, and for a common, it is way above average for a common, but there are some other pretty good commons out there too, but that is definitely one of them now. As far as traits, they're pretty bad other than Stone Skin. Stone Skin, this also makes it another one of the cheapest troops with Stone Skin. Not the absolute cheapest. I think it's the second cheapest now. If I'm not mistaken, Golem is the cheapest Stone Skin. I believe he has it on the second trait. I do not recall off the top of my head. But yeah, this is a ridiculously cheap Stone Skin. So if you're a newer player too, and you need something that's tanky against skulls, this is definitely what you'd want to do. You'd probably even want to use 2 of them on your team. But yeah, really nice troop. And the new one. The new legendary is in the event key drop pool. It's only in the event key drop pool, and it will be like this for all this week. Then it will be not in any drop pool for about a month or so, and then after that month it'll be in all the normal drop pools like glory keys and gem keys. But if you do want the new troop, you would need to get it now. And what it does, well, we'll see if we can get one so I can show what it does. It is in my listing. We just got a Gorgolfa there. One thing to note is that there are Gorgolfas, as you can see in the drop pool. There's also the mythic of, oh, I forget his name. Jotnar Stonehammer, I want to say. The mythic from Kazil. He's kind of useless. I generally say that he's a pretty bad troop, but he is within the drop pool as well. So if you happen to be open keys, there's a chance that you would end up getting him. Oh gosh, this isn't going to be one of those times when we have to click a billion times just to get this thing. Looks like it. Let's see, how many keys we're in right now? 200? Can you give me Knock or Golfa? I know that this is updated. I updated my game. It is updated. Give it to me. Give it to me. Okay. Game? All the Gorgolthas. None of the new troop. Hello? Hello? I know you're in here. I saw people getting it earlier. I even seen people send it all the way to Mythic. We are getting excessively bad luck. Wow. There we go. Well, yeah, that took what now? Let's see, 300 event keys? But we got him. Looks like we're only getting one of him. Luckily, we only do need one of him. But what does he do? He stuns the last 2 enemies, deals damage to them, and it is boosted by all allied dwarves at a really high ratio. This is like one of the only really good dwarves, surprisingly. That and the new gate that was just added. Basically, both the new troops are the only viable dwarves pretty much in the game for the most part. But yeah, it has a really, really high boost ratio. That's an additional 24 damage to 2 different targets if it is running with a full team of dwarves. And it also then summons a random dwarf on top of that, which is kind of nice and could be applicable for guild wars as well. As far as traits, it is the first troop in the game to get this new fortitude trait. What this does is immune to stun, poison, disease, death mark, and devour. I still don't have all those memorized, but that is what it does. And it also has the, of course, unique trait of giving all dwarves 50% mana. This isn't too applicable, but it is definitely pretty good with the new gate that was added. Well, let's go and level this guy up and go do a team for both of them. Well, that definitely took way more resources than I was hoping it would, but oh well. We got it, and let's go and show it. So let's see. Get his traits, get his levels, and go on from there. If it would help if I actually leveled him. So we get him all the way leveled, get his traits, and he just uses brown-red. There hasn't been a brown-red event for trait stones for a while. Luckily, the new kingdom of the Urskea kingdom is pretty good for farming brown-red, a lot better than doing it in Groshnok, due to the fact that Groshnok has so many troops that have like the summon chance on them, mainly because of summoner and stuff like that. Like if we go and explore right here, of course it wouldn't do it right when I try showing it, but it does have a lot of those like 25% revive kind of troops, and they are really annoying to have to face in explore in that particular kingdom. But let's go do the first one, and that is the 4x dwarves. Let me go and replace out with the new dwarf that we just got. So let me go find him real quick. Hazel. And slot them right in there. Of course, if you don't have Stonehammer, let's see, what could you actually replace if you don't have Stonehammer? I probably should say that. Stonehammer is within the event key drop pull this week. He's generally not that good, but with a 50% mana start, he's not that bad. That's only a 12 mana cost for that ability is actually pretty decent, particularly if you can land it. Without that 50%, I pretty much never advise using Stonehammer, as I have many times in the past. But with 50%, I think he's kind of competent now. He's at least not useless. I really don't know what you'd have to use. You'd probably have to use Lord Ironbeard or something as a replacement. If you did not have the Stonehammer, I would guess. That or a second Dwarven Gate. One thing to note, I didn't mention yet. We do get bonuses. Actually, I might as well go over those event things too. Well, for one, we're getting 10% extra bonus to all dwarves and all Kazale troops this week. I believe it's 10%. They were mentioning that they were going to lower to 10%. This value is currently broken. They'll probably have that fixed in a couple hours or so. The event just went live, so yeah, that might be broken for a few more hours. You will also get, like I mentioned, bonus gold. Whenever you use a full team of dwarves, it does have to be 4 troops. You get 500 additional gold. I personally don't believe this is going to be worth it, but as you saw, I will be showing a team with that in case you do feel like doing that. I already went over that. And we also need to go and kill a bunch of dwarves in PvP and explore. If you were to do it in explore, the only place you'd really go to do it in is the Kazale Kingdom. Of course, the one time I go and pick it, it literally has none. So the other way, if you feel like you're finding none there, is to keep finding them in casual PvP. And as soon as you find one, you can just either do that fight or keep repicking until you find one that has a lot of dwarves on it. Probably not too many teams with dwarves on it yet. A lot of people, there's one. A lot of people do tend to shift their teams into whatever the event currently is. So it's a pretty good idea to just keep spamming that. It's really, really cheap with only the 50 gold. You'll get way more back than from the winning the battle. And it will get you all the events pretty easy. Plus, you get an Emperina from it. Emperina is not that bad. It's very, very situational, but it's the only troop in the game that can fully heal another troop, which in some cases, in some situations, particularly against true damage, can be very, very good. It's good for frontline tanks, and it's good for if you're just up against a lot of true damage. So anyways, let's get into this. So Stonehammer or Lord Ironbeard if you don't have Stonehammer. Apothecary, Gate, then Apothecary, then the new legendary dwarf. I keep forgetting his name. He is King Highforge. He kind of reminds me of the art style of Queen Jezebel. So, now we just need to find a move. Now the next issue is nothing to do on the board. So we'll just move that over. Ideally, we would want to take blue or green immediately. There's some green. The only problem is I give him an extra turn of skulls, or her an extra turn of skulls if I end up doing that. So I guess I will pass for now. We'll just move that over. Let it do its thing. We'll take our blue. And we are not getting good board, but we can take the green now. And we do get the surge. The only issue it is now is, do we have brown alignment? The answer appears to be nope. That would be the case. So what does that leave us to now? Not the purple. Don't make me take the only move. Is that seriously the only move? Well, I guess we do that. I get skull distracted. He's hitting into 80, or she's hitting into 80% skull reduction, so not really going to be too big a deal. Still no alignment. Again, skull. Oh wait, never mind. We have alignment. Let's take out the yellow. So let's go do that and go test out this new guy. So yes, stun the last two enemies and then deal a ridiculous amount of damage to them. And he even summons a dwarf on top of that, which is pretty good. 52 to 2 troops. I am perfectly fine with that. I almost want to go get another, though I do not want to suicide my entire stack of resources, so I probably won't. I don't know, maybe in a stream later we'll go and try opening more. I need to give my gem stack a rest. There's a new mythic coming out this Friday too, which is one of the reasons why I'm kind of hesitant to throw any more event keys down. So do keep that in mind if you're actually spending gems on them, because you're probably going to need some of that gems for the new mythic this Friday. It's going to be a Mist of Scales mythic. Likely a true damage kind of dealer. I'll be going over more on that once she's actually released and officially released. Well, we'll take the skull and just get some blues. I'm trying to get this gate up. I had a feeling we wouldn't be able to get it up as easily if we put it in second. Of course, this is the first time I'm ever bothering using this team because we literally just got the new troop. So I haven't had time to really mess around with it. But one thing we could do right here, which would be good enough, is we can throw down the gate. That gives 5 mana to everything. And then we can throw this down. As weird as this may seem, I prefer the mana gain on this gate, even though on average it's lower than a Queen Jezebel. Mainly because with Queen Jezebel, the biggest issue she always has is her ability is extremely random. You will either hit anywhere from 3 to 8, and sometimes this will give you way more mana than you need, but sometimes, very occasionally, right when you need only like a 4 or a 5, it will roll you a 3. Which is very, very annoying. But with this gate, you always know it's going to create 5 mana for all your allies. So if it's exactly 5 away, then you'll know, oh, it's gonna go every single time. Or if it's 4 or anything like that, you don't need to worry about some kind of random factor, which I really, really enjoy about this strip. I forget if we had enough damage there. We probably already did, but oh well. And we'll throw that down and dead. So yeah, that is the new legend. Definitely very, very strong with all dwarfs. The biggest issue is there isn't really too many good all-dwarf teams. There's really only 3 good dwarves at the moment. The Gate, Apothecary, and the new legend that just came in. I still don't really consider Stonehammer as a good one, though, situationally he still is. He's still very similar to a Gurgolfa, though. Without his final trait, he's kind of useless. Also, with Thick-Headed and Warded, I wonder if they're ever going to give... That could be one thing that they could probably do to make him better. Now that they added Fortitude, which is immune to Stun, Poison, Disease, Deathmark, and Devour, they could maybe give that to Stonehammer. The only thing is that it doesn't have Stun on it. But they could always replace out, I guess, Warded with Fortitude. So they could give him Thick-Headed, Fortitude, and then Unbreakable or something like that. I think that would still be balanced. He's barely even used to begin with, so that wouldn't really break him too hard. Anyways, here was the team I was referring to earlier, though ideally I do not want to use it against Scion, Ragnargord, Famine, Death, because that is a very, very annoying team to have to ever face. There we go. For a second I thought I got stuck there, so let's go and do this one. It doesn't really matter too much what we face, I just don't want to go and have to do a mass mana drain at this moment in time. But for this next battle, we're going to be doing basically what I mentioned before, which was we're going to be getting our Valkyrie up, then spamming the gates like crazy, or vice versa, getting the gates and then spamming the Valkyrie like crazy. But we do get the Valkyrie first, so we just throw this down, boom, we get double gate, we get Tesla. One thing to note, even though I'm using Tesla in here, there is a difference between mechs and constructs. She gives all of her buffs to mechs. These are not mechs, these are constructs, so do keep that in mind. But this does mean that you technically need 0 traits on her to make this work. So, yeah, that's perfectly fine. The only traits that you need to make this work is the Gate fully traded for the stone skins. You don't even really need that, but it's so cheap you might as well. And preferably Valkyrie with Water Link, because it would help a little bit when you do all the mana. But all we have to do now is simply throw down a Tesla, then throw down a Gate, and then boom, we have full mana. It's as simple as that. It would help if I take some of the mana away from him. Fail. But all we have to do is just keep doing that, and we just keep cycling over and over and over again. And even if Valkyrie gets 0 mana from the Cascades, we will still be able to get it up with 2 Gate casts. So you can just keep looping this over and over and over again. If you don't have a Tesla, don't worry. There is many options you could actually use here. Tesla, Crimson Bat, Draculus, and Christinex would all work as a last slot. There's probably even more options. Essentially, what you would have to use in last slot is any blue troop that can do a ridiculously large amount of damage. Anything that fits that criteria will work in the last slot for the team that we are using right now. So apparently we don't have alignment unless I'm happening to missing it. Oh wait, there is. No, I am missing it. It was right there on red staring at me right as I click it, but fail. Okay, and yeah, then you just throw it down, and simple as that. To be honest, I actually like this Gate more than the new Legend. The new Legend actually is pretty cool, but yeah, the common Gate. Nice to see a really good glory related troop. They've been doing that a lot lately now, with the Wisp and now this. So really cool, back to back, really nice events. So that will wrap it up for this video. I believe I've gone over pretty much everything with this event. If you still have any other questions, feel free to leave it in the comment section below. If you're going to be opening up event keys, definitely hope you have the best of luck. Don't open up too much though, because as I mentioned, there is a new mythic, at least on the PC mobile version. There's a new mythic coming out on Friday. Not sure if console's going to be getting it, even though that events are kind of aligned now. I still don't think the mythics are aligned yet, so do keep that in mind. But anyways, hope you all have a wonderful week. Best of luck, and thanks for watching. Goodbye.